Welcome to the Americana Bistro Grill. I'm your host, Roberto Alvarez-Galloso, serving you the best. Serving you the best in Americana music with the greatest artists in the world that play true Americana music, which is country and rock. We're going to be expecting a great guest here. Her name is Tiffany Gassette. She is like an angel here in North America. She has been in many places of the world, especially New England and the Virgin Islands, and has managed to bring a lot of background into her music. Two of her greatest songs that I love has been called Still and Time Passes On, because it evokes tranquility, stability, at a time when our world, especially our society, needs that tranquility and needs to be at peace with itself and with others. We'll be waiting for Tiffany Gassette so that we could talk about her career, which has been a very great career, what she has done in the past, what she is doing in the present, and what she is hoping to do in the future. Meanwhile, we are waiting for her. And let's see what else we could do here besides that. We have to remember that nowadays we have to really love each other, respect one another, and we have to really understand each other. Recently, we have been really hurting each other on purpose, and we shouldn't be doing that. We should be spreading love, spreading joy, spreading everything else. Because when we don't have love and we don't have understanding, we have hatred. And we do not need hatred now. We need love, peace, tranquility. The more, the merrier. Because if not, we are going to have very, 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 very big problems. And we cannot have very, very big problems. We can't. Let us see right now if we could really... 1 minute.
Let me be loved. This is Laura Marie, and you're listening to the Americana Bistro Grill with Roberto Alvarez-Galloso. Remember, be loved.
I want to thank Laura Marie for being part of the opening of the Americana Bistro Grill. And I'm sharing this because I want you to buy her song, her music. Now we have Tiffany Gassette coming, just 1 minute. A 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, let's hope. Hello, Tiffany.
Hello.
Hello, how's everything?
Very good. I'm in beautiful Connecticut.
Oh yes, it reminds me of when I used to go to. It reminds me of the time when I was in Connecticut, where I had my family. The last time I was there was in the year 2000 and let me see, 2011. Oh, I was there in 2011 when I got divorced, and then I went back in 2014. I have family there. I have them in which were the two places. I have one of them, I think in Stamford, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Another one, where's the other one? No, Danbury isn't the place. Okay, Stamford is the other one. Stamford was one, and I think Darien is the other one, if I'm not mistaken. But I went around all Connecticut, and I loved and enjoyed every minute.
Yeah, it's beautiful here.
I also hope that you enjoyed the nice little tour of Florida in my swimming pool. It's one of those types of experience that I do. Oh, I also want to thank musicians and rock for visiting. Also, I also want to thank you for visiting Florida, even though it's in the swimming pool of my apartment. I was telling the people about your music, and that you've been in different parts of the world, and that there are two songs that have left me and left many people in the state of tranquility, which is sorely needed. One is Still, and one is Time Passes On. First and foremost, how did you get started in music, especially Americana music, and where have been your origins and your life?
Yeah. Well, thank you for asking me to come. I really appreciate that.
For me, it's a pleasure and an honor.
So I guess I always felt a very strong connection to music, particularly beautiful melodies, and I sounded out melodies that I loved on the piano when I was young, and I started taking piano lessons, classical training. I found though that I couldn't write the kind of songs that I wanted on piano as an instrument, so I taught myself to play the guitar, not till high school actually. I had always written poetry, and I've always been a strong writer, but I didn't start writing songs until maybe I was 18 or 19. I bought a guitar and started writing, and I think I've always considered, there's my daughter, I've always kind of been a folk artist at heart. My greatest influences, she's at the playground right now. My greatest influences have always been, great folk legends, mostly, Neil Young and Bob Dylan, and and so, Crosby, Stills, Nash, Young, Graham Nash, and so I was always really passionate about folk music, but then I started writing country music in more recent years, when I moved to Nashville, and just before I moved to Nashville. And so I guess when I write just about anything, but when I write for myself, or songs that, speak most to me as an artist, are always sort of they kind of teeter on the edge of Americana and folk, but they're a little more adult contemporary, I think. They're always, I really am most passionate about ballads and beautiful melodies. I think they're my favorite songs that I like to play. Yeah.
Also, I saw all of your videos. I saw all of your videos, and I love all of them. And there have been many videos in which you have recorded reggae music. And I know that I read that you lived in the U.S. Virgin Islands. What has been the difference, music-wise, between New England, especially Connecticut, Nashville, and the U.S. Virgin Islands?
As far as my writing or influences?
Both.
Yeah, when I moved to the islands, I think I was about 7 years old. I was my daughter's age, actually. And so I developed a very deep love for reggae, calypso music, dance hall. I didn't start writing reggae until I moved back to the States, because I kind of missed the music so much, and there wasn't a very big reggae scene here, and so I started a band called Rising Tribe. I think some of my favorite bands growing up were Steel Pulse and Toots and the Maytals and Bob Marley, obviously. Peter Tosh and Gregory Isaacs, and
The
and
masters.
some of the unknowns, the Jamaican artists. So,
Hello? Are you there?
hey there.
Yeah, I'm still here. Don't worry.
I lost you. And so, hold on, baby. Oh, wow, that's beautiful. I see it. No, baby, can't right now, honey. I'm doing an interview. This is very typical, by the way, of my live performances. Is that I always have my daughter. Let me see. I have to go see something she made.
Don't worry.
I won't.
Don't worry, Tiffany. Family comes first.
I'm going to show you all what my daughter made. Wow.
Very beautiful.
Baby.
Very beautiful.
So anyways, I started, in Connecticut was really, believe it or not, when I started listening to country music. I never really honestly loved country music until, I think there's an element of not really appreciating country music until you live in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And when I know it sounds odd, but when I moved to Connecticut, it was the closest to country I'd ever been because my daughter's father lived in a town called North Guilford, and they owned a farm, and they grew flowers, and they raised cattle, grass-fed beef, and they hunted and everything. And so, and they also were champion team ropers, and so they were very much, living that lifestyle. And so I, through knowing them for those years, I got to appreciate country music, and I had always been writing songs that kind of were more country, and they did as an artist. But I got interested in writing, for Nashville when I was living there.
Great. You were in two groups. One, excuse me, I just had coffee here, and you were with Rising Tribe and the Farm Stand Band. What was your experience with Rising Tribe and also with the Farm Stand Band?
Yeah, Rising Tribe was kind of an evolving project that I started in, like 2004 or 5 maybe. It started out as a Celtic folk rock band.
Mm-hmm.
That I really love violins, and I was doing a lot of playing on the North Shore. And where there's a really big Celtic scene there,
mm-hmm.
and my grandmother's from Ireland, and I always loved Celtic music, and it's all also in that vein of folk. So I've been through a lot of phases. My Celtic phase is where I really started playing with fiddle, and we eventually had the band Rising Tribe. It started off as Sun Tribe, and then we became Rising Tribe, and then so I was writing for them for several years. We did one album. And then I ended up, it kind of evolved, and we got some new players, and started focusing less on fiddle and mandolin, and we started incorporating electric guitar. And I did a second album with them that we never released, because by the time I write so much that by the time I was on to the next project, those songs were kind of old to me. And then I started writing reggae, which was just something that I felt in my soul, and so Rising Tribe kind of became more of a reggae, like a folk rock reggae group for a while. And then later on, we started traveling at festivals and things, and so we added a horn section, and we had like a 7-piece band at one point in time. So yeah, it got pretty crazy. 8-piece at once. Yeah, I bought a 16-passenger van and a trailer, and we toured, and it was pretty crazy for a while. But yeah, very different. The Farm Stand Band was actually just a small band that I put together in Connecticut when I was living here. because I ran a farm stand with my daughter's father during those years. We grew our own flowers and such, and vegetables, and we had a farm stand right across the street from our house out in the country that I ran while I was pregnant and while I was raising my small child there. And I started to really, during that time that I had my daughter, I stopped playing music for a long time. My band broke up, and so I started to play at the farm stand. We would do events around, holidays like Mother's Day and pansies, selling pansies and live music. So really it was just the farm stand band was really, that was it. We were a band that kind of played at this farm stand. We recorded a few songs at Dirt Floor Studio in Connecticut, but we never really did much more than that. We just kind of, kept it simple.
Yeah, Rising Tribe, I did hear all of your albums, especially the one which the cover which you were on the beach. And I also appreciate some of the Celtic music, because just like you, that you have ancestors from Ireland, before my family immigrated to Cuba, my family is originally from Cuba, but before Cuba, they were originally from Galicia in Spain, and the Basque Country of France and Spain. Galicia is totally Celtic. They have the bagpipes, the flutes, everything that it has in Ireland and Scotland, it exists in Galicia. And Galicia, like the Basque Country and Catalonia, are the only areas of Spain where Spanish takes a back seat to the regional languages.
Wow.
Many people have the erroneous idea that Spain, everyone speaks Spanish. But under the arrangements that were made when Spain transitioned to a democracy, because Spain had dictatorships for a long time. When they did the transition to democracy, Galicia, the Galician language was recognized as the official language of Galicia, followed by Spanish. The Basque Country of Spain recognized Basque or Euskera, and Catalonia, Catalan. Now the French section of Catalonia and the French section of the Basque Country, they are still not recognizing the Basque language as official, nor do they recognize Catalonia as official. But the important thing is I was able to go to the Basque Country in my first youth, when I had black hair and the black mustache. And when I went to Galicia, and I was like, the blood was up, I felt the blood rising as something beautiful. And I felt that when I heard Rising Tribe.
Yeah, I was gonna say that album. It was my first studio album, and I got a little carried away.
You did. It's a timeless classic.
I heard, I heard bagpipes in my head. I heard Irish whistle. Indian flute. I was hearing those instruments. I was hearing orchestras, and so when I co-produced that with Brian Silver and 9B Studio in Milford, Massachusetts, and we actually brought in a bagpipe for that, which I don't think I would do today, but it was just fun, and I was really experimenting with what it was like to hear these arrangements, this music that I had produced in my head come to life, and it was really beautiful. I really loved making that album. It was really special.
In fact, most of the people who watch my blog, in Spanish and in English, especially from Galicia and the Basque Country, they loved the Rising Tribe album. They loved the one in which they had the Celtic. Yes, it was really, really, really great. Also, I remember seeing some other videos of you in Vermont, which I saw such beauty in the forests of Vermont, that I want to congratulate you. You did the Blueberry Jam Sessions. How was the Blueberry Jam Sessions?
It was great. So I think my band was touring a lot in Vermont, Warren, and Burlington mostly. When we put out the Back to the Water album, we were getting airplay on a radio station in Burlington, and so the DJ there Taz used to invite us up there to do some shows and some interviews, and then we had a really good friend. Her name was Rita Brown, and actually her father, who I met just before he passed away, he was, I believe, Fidel Castro's translator for a while. He had something to do with his American foreign relations. He was a really sweet man, but he was repatriated a long time ago and could not go back to the country, and he was really upset about that. Had a really broke his heart.
Many of us in Cuba have that same problem. I myself, even though I was born in America, in Ohio, I can't go to Cuba. I can go to Puerto Rico where my other family lives, but I can't go to Cuba. The closest I went.
Not allowed to go back. He really was his dying wish, but he never got to go back. But that aside, his daughter Rita was very, very much into the music scene in Vermont. She knew Bob Marley and the Marley family. Her sister had written poetry for his mother's funeral, and she was very connected there. And she got us quite a few gigs in Vermont. She was the one who would host these Blueberry Jam sessions, one of which we got to play with Elephant Revival, which was really amazing because I just love that band, just before they blew up, which was pretty awesome. There was just always something very magical about Vermont and about Blueberry Lake, which is where she lived. She had a little ski cabin up there. We used to play at Slybrook Ski Lodge too, which was really fun. It was mostly just little acoustic sessions we would do there, and it was just one of my favorite places. The music, the fans in Vermont, particularly Burlington, they're just so welcoming of original music and people from out of town, which is something to say because we played a lot in Boston, and because we weren't from Boston proper, it was kind of hard to break into that scene. So we did a lot better in places like, Vermont, where people were just excited to get people from out of town to come, So we played there a bunch. We did a benefit album, but we had a couple songs on an album for Hurricane Irene that Rita compiled, which was amazing. Willie Nelson was on that album. He donated a song, Taj Mahal. It was really, really special being a part of that project too. But I miss Vermont. I actually think about going back there sometimes to do a reunion show. Would be really cool.
No, I would love to see a reunion show in Seattle, Vermont. In fact, I hope to be going back to Connecticut for a visit because I've already been invited to visit by my family. And I hope one day to go to Connecticut and also hope to cross the state line with Massachusetts and meet you personally.
Yes, absolutely. I have a place you can stay.
But before I continue, during their tour of New England, you talk about Vermont, Connecticut, and Massachusetts. Were there any other states in New England, like Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Maine, that you did concerts or performed?
I'm actually originally from Rhode Island. I was born in Providence. I lived there until I was about 6 years old. I was raised on the ocean in Warwick Neck. And we played like a college, like a college frat show or something like that. But we never really played a lot in Rhode Island. However, we did play in New Hampshire. We never went to Maine. Typically, just like New Hampshire, and New York occasionally. But when I started the Connecticut chapter to the Nashville Songwriters Association here, my co-coordinators from Rhode Island, and that actually became the Rhode Island chapter. So right now I run the Rhode Island and Connecticut chapter to the Nashville Songwriters Association. So we have some members from Rhode Island and Connecticut, sometimes Massachusetts, who come to our meetings, which is really nice. But no, Rhode Island was not we didn't play that market too much. Not sure why. I did all the booking for the band. It was a lot of booking. It was a lot of work. It was a full-time job, and so we kind of had our spots that people liked what we did, and we stuck to that tour.
Great. In addition to New England, I'm going to go to another part of the States. You're in the Durango Songwriters Expo once, in Durango, Colorado, and also in California. The Songwriters Expo is originally in Durango.
Yes.
But you celebrated the last one in 2020, I think, if I'm not mistaken, in California.
That's a really magical event. Durango's been going on for over 20 years, I think now. It was called Durango because it was started in Durango, Colorado, but they now do it in Boulder and in Ventura, California. And so I've been going for about, I don't know, maybe 6 years now. So this is maybe like my, 12th expo or something, maybe 14th expo. It's kind of one of those events where you find, your music family, and you find people who are like-minded. And so now I've been going for so long that I volunteer for the expo. I do the photography for them and for all the songwriters on the main stage. I'm pretty good at taking good pictures because I've had so many bad pictures taken of me on stage that I know.
All the pictures of you, Tiffany, all the pictures of you and the videos of you came up beautifully. The one in which you did the duo with Caitlin Cannon, also Spencer Jordan, and also Kate Williard. They were great. They were beautiful. I especially love the duo that you did with Kate Williard. The still.
Yeah, Kate is great. Caitlin's awesome. They actually used to play together in a band called the Cannon Dolls. Now Caitlin Cannon is doing her own thing. Trash Cannon, and she's amazing. You got to reach out to her. She's just such a great songwriter.
I did already.
I hope she responds to you. We wrote together. Algie Powers is the one who does the videography for Durango, but basically Durango Songwriters Expo is an event where songwriters and artists go, and they meet with industry people there, and that's actually where I met my manager Steve Garvin, who I've been working with since. I played him a song in a listening session, and he really liked it. So that's how I got to know him there. So it's a really great place for networking opportunities. But so occasionally I play a song on the main stage there, which is pretty fun. It's a blast. Obviously, we didn't get to do it this time around, but they did it online, like last weekend, I think it was. But we're hoping to see it up and running again in, I think February is the next one in California.
Yeah, I have faith that I have faith. I'm declaring two things. One, that you're going to be going back to the festival, and you're going to be doing a lot more in the music in the festival. I'm also declaring that since some of my relatives have been already telling me, come to Connecticut. I've already been invited. I'm going to accept, and if I do accept, I'm going to be seeing you. You live in Massachusetts, right?
I own a home in Massachusetts, but I primarily reside in Nashville. I'm here because my daughter is being homeschooled right now, and I love the ocean, and I love. It's just a perfect time of year weather-wise to be here. I'm also here because my mom's having surgery next week, and I got to be here with her for that. So, my daughter gets to.
I'm declaring that I'm either going to meet you personally in Connecticut or in Nashville, or one day you'll be coming here to the Florida Keys, the Key Largo Singer Songwriter Festival and the Key West Singer Songwriter Festival.
I was supposed to play Key West a couple of years ago, but I just couldn't make it for whatever reason. I forget. But I have played in Florida before, and I've done some radio stuff there with what was it? Kicks Country 90, 103.3, I think it was.
I think
with
Kicks
Larry-
Country 103.9.
109, is that what it is? Yeah, I did an interview with them a while ago, and I forget, goodness, it's been so long. But yes, I love Florida. Actually, my father has a house in Port Charlotte, and I love Punta Gorda. That's one of my favorite areas. Where are you exactly?
Right now I'm in Miami, but I'm in an area of Miami called Kendall. Kendall is the rural part of Miami, the rural area. I've like avoided the city for a long time. I'm living in the rural areas. I'm just about 30 minutes from the Florida Keys and 15 minutes from Homestead. I'm all surrounded by forests and the countryside.
Come visit Florida any day, especially when it gets cold in Nashville. I'm going to be looking to head south.
So I'm there, and if you ever want to come to Florida, come by. You're more than welcome.
Thank you.
And what has been since I always had the love of the song Still and Time Passes On, what has been the inspiration of those two songs?
Still was, it was very funny. It was my first year writing in Nashville, like every day, almost every day. And I was at the end of my writing season. I guess I have seasons of writing, but this was kind of like the last day before I was going back to Massachusetts, maybe for the summer, I forget. But I had written every single day, and I was at BMI with Mary Cutter, and we were just going over song ideas, and she mentioned the word still, and I just somehow immediately, I was like, yeah, I'd really like that idea. I picked up the guitar and really just, when I tell you, some songs, they say sometimes songs you really have to work hard at. Some songs just I feel like, I'm like a vessel of God, just channeling, something that's already been written, and I'm really not even responsible for it. But somehow in that moment, the song just poured through us, and I think it was written in like 45 minutes. It just came very naturally, and I didn't overthink it. We just. I'm sure that anyone could pick it apart and say that line could have been better or whatever.
No.
But I felt it. And it felt right in the moment, and I like to, really capture that over rewriting and overthinking, sometimes, especially when a song I feel is like a gift from God, it just comes through you like I don't know, I guess I felt like it was like a gift because I had been working so hard in writing and taking hours and hours to finish songs, and then just when I was finally at the end of this season of writing, what I feel like was one of my best songs came through. I felt like it was kind of the muses like.
Hello? Definitely gonna have to get my cell phone renewed. Hello?
Don't do that. And please don't do that. We had written it in 45 minutes, so we had like 2 hours left, so we ended up learning it, singing it together, and there's a video of us when it was very rough before we had written the bridge, of us performing the song at BMI. So yeah.
I could barely, I'm thinking of having...
pretty amazing, that song. What's that?
I'm having problems with the connection in your area. Are you still there?
Oh, okay. I am.
Before leaving, I do have a nice little gift for you.
Okay.
For participation. This is from a caricature drawer called Reynold de Cuba. Reynold de Cuba is from Cuba, and he is like the Cuban version of Rembrandt, Da Vinci, Goya, all rolled into one. Given the fact that conflict of interest laws governing Cuba and the United States say I have to reveal my sources, he is my first cousin. I have yet to see him, but that's another issue. But he drew this so that I could give to everybody I have interviewed. and I want to give this to you as a souvenir from the Americana Bistro Grill.
Thank you.
And should you ever visit Cuba, the closest I went to Cuba, personally, the closest I went to Cuba was in China during the Olympics as a journalist. I saw it and enjoyed it and did all of my reporting. And when I accepted my award in China, called the Golden Pen Award, my acceptance of the award was transmitted towards Cuba and South America, especially Venezuela, where I did my high school. And,
I've been to Venezuela.
and everybody that were my friends and family in Venezuela, and my family in Cuba saw me accept the award. That's the closest I got to Cuba. The other part is Puerto Rico. Since where my wife is from, Puerto Rico, we'll be probably doing a lot of trips to Puerto Rico. And who knows, maybe in a future interview, you may see me in the beach in Puerto Rico.
Well, I've been to beaches in Puerto Rico many times. When I lived in St. Thomas, I used to go to Puerto Rico a lot, and it's beautiful there. I'll go anywhere south of the border, especially during the winter.
Yeah, I have yet to visit Jamaica where Bob Marley is, but Puerto Rico, the part of Boquerón, has a very lively reggae community.
Oh yeah, yeah. The islands just have such a rich, amazing music scene. Just music that I don't know. I feel very fortunate to have grown up in the islands. It really informs my style. Yeah, I just love island music.
Yeah. And before leaving, because I hate saying goodbyes, and I also met a 21st century version of Bob Marley a long time ago. He's a Christian singer, but it's like if Bob Marley had come back from the dead. He was originally from Bolivia, but he lives between Bolivia and the Caribbean islands of Colombia, like San Andres. His name is Matamba. Really great person. His name is Matamba.
My father lived in Colombia.
Yeah.
And he